Welcome to my 25 Airbnbs I stayed in 2021 in Central America and the United States. Welcome to part 3. So part 3 begins with a surprise of El Salvador. You guys, if you're looking at this, you're just as blown away likely as I was when I saw this. And if you're not looking at it, I definitely recommend you go check out the blog and or the YouTube video. It is an open air treehouse Airbnb in El Salvador in El Tunco Beach overlooking the ocean. And you guys, the pictures, yes, they're incredible, but it does not do the place justice. Just the peace, the serenity. You could easily walk down to the main areas of El Tunco. I never felt unsafe. I definitely recommend you go, just like with anything, exercise common sense, go during the day because there's not a lot of street lights, etc. Common kitchen areas. Also, they offered hammocks. There was a shared bathroom, just as a side. You're in the middle of a jungle, the backyard, and just amazingly beautiful. There's the shared bathroom, but it was in 2 private stalls, so really, really easy, the hallway to the rooms. And I spent about 4 days at this Airbnb, or what they call Casa De La Folie. I met one of the owners when I was there and interacted with one of the community leaders, but she was leaving the country for a bit. So I didn't get to meet her, but super, super nice and definitely recommend. And also how El Salvador even came up for me to visit, you guys, was because of a press trip in Honduras. And the easiest way to travel into this western part of Honduras is to fly into San Salvador. And I was like, well, I'm not going to fly into San Salvador and not see El Salvador because who knows when I'll return again. So I ended up spending about, I would say, a week or a little bit more than a week in El Salvador. 4 days at the actually I can look. 4 days at the treehouse, and then here 3 days. So yes, exactly a week. So the second place I stayed in was Casa Castellanos with Gloria and her husband, and it's a private tiny efficiency downstairs, and you have beautiful, as you can see, the artwork is absolutely breathtaking from the same artist that also does work in Las Palmas in El Salvador. And for some reason, the internet's moving really slow. So a que chivo is almost like how cool it's a saying in El Salvador. You can see the pictures here, the desk area, small little microwave, coffee, refrigerator. See the bathroom, super adorable. And then you have access to the garden space upstairs. And Gloria is super, super nice, and her husband. So highly recommend. If I'm back in El Salvador, I will definitely be visiting there. So after I left there, I went to Hotel Sandoval on the press trip, which you can read all about or listen all about it on the show. Then my next goal was to head to Roatan to do free diving for my birthday. But with me being in the further south portion of Honduras, it made sense for me to stop first at San Pedro de Sula potentially, and especially when I saw these adorable recycled containers by Gabriel's mom, but that's being hosted by Gabriel and Veronica. So I ended up staying here, you guys, a total of over a month. You can see now they have the main plaza, the small offices, the cafeteria, Future Orchid, individual offices. So it shows you all the things that are happening and going around, which is great. And I initially thought I was just going to stay about 3-4 days. And you can see it's almost like a tiny dorm, and they used to have with 1 bed and a desk area. There's also a big desk area, and most of them, a small little area, and then shared bathrooms. So, or some rooms have top bunks. So none of the rooms have 2 bunks. They're either bottom or top. So they're very private and small, yes. And then common kitchen areas. And then this is the neighborhood area. You can see. So initially I was going to stay there 4 days, but when Gabriel, Veronica, and I got to talking, they really wanted me to come back and help them with their business development, marketing plan, marketing and execution after I got back from Roatan. So I actually ended up staying there about a month between their recycled containers and their tiny house, which I'll talk about in just a bit. But first, Roatan. So I found Posada Arcoiris at the West End in Roatan, hosted by Natalia and Carolina. I got to meet Carolina, who's actually Polish too. I'm half Polish if you didn't know. She has an incredible testimony and story too. And I would have loved to have stayed here longer, but just budget-wise, price-wise, and then I was debating on at that point, I had an upcoming trip and projects at that point, close to Mexico City and in Colombia and in Panama, but then some things changed. So we'll talk about that in a bit. So I actually ended up being upgraded to a better room than this. It was at the end of the hallway down to the right, but you can get a feel for like, this is West End. The hotel's somewhere like right here-ish. Oh, wait. No, it wasn't by the pier. It was like right here. But absolutely breathtakingly beautiful. They're like, this is literally like steps from the hotel. Bathrooms. This is how Posada Arcoiris looks from the outside. Amazing. So adorable. I love staying here. And I ended up going snorkeling, free diving, all the things. Again, definitely check out my 1 day in top 10 guides. Then I went back to San Pedro Sula and was hosted for several weeks. And then I also ended up experiencing their tiny house that's also part of their bioclimatic or sustainable architecture, especially for urban areas. You can definitely check out my overview that I did after my tour with Angela, his mom, on bioclimatic tropical architecture and designs for urban areas. So you can see there's stairs to go up, and this one doesn't show it, but there's a tiny kitchen downstairs as well. And you can see there's green screens to cover it in case, it's humid, to keep from it getting too hot. And then when you walk in, you see the bed to the right. And it's really cool when you look up. You can check out my video of the full Airbnb at the top. You can see how the architecture is designed to be bioclimatic and not need air condition. And there was, guys, I was cold. Like, I had to use blankets, which if anyone knows me, they know I'm typically cold-natured anyway. The downstairs kitchenette that you just saw, the neighborhood area. So San Pedro Sula has a very long history, but I can also tell you this neighborhood is behind a 24 hours a day guarded area, residential. I never ever felt unsafe, etc. There's guards that like drive by all the time on bikes, all the things. This is the Japanese garden. I loved visiting here as well. And then after I left Honduras, I ended up going back to Mexico City, and I ended up staying in almost like a private 2-story loft hosted by Sarah and Veronica, and super, super cute, you guys. Downstairs, I had a mini desk area and a mini living room area and some shelves. You can see I climbed the stairs to get to my loft, which would look like this. And obviously I have this thing with lofts, and then you had access to the common areas like the living room, the dining, and then your own private bathroom that was only yours as well. So this gives you some more glances. Super cute, super comfortable. And they have an adorable dog named Bimba that I loved walking, and they let me walk too. So this gives you some glances as well. And they had a mini rooftop space and area too. So I thought after Mexico City, I was going to go work on a press trip project and digital marketing close to Mexico City. But then my computer started having, and this is a brand new one. This is the one that's only 6 months old, started having screen issues right here and blacking out completely. I tried to get it fixed in Honduras. They told me it was going to take over a month and they were going to have to take my computer. Then I thought, well, I'm going to Mexico City anyway next. Maybe it'll be faster there because there's an actual Apple store. It's not an Apple reseller or an authorized Apple, service provider, so to speak. But they were telling me the same thing because the screen part had to be exported or imported into Mexico. So then with prayer and guidance and just thinking of things practically, and also thinking of community and friends and family, that's what led to then me going to Houston to see my friend Angela and her girls, and you can hear all about that on Returning to the USA Sooner Than I Thought, and that episode on my show, Create It with Katrina Julia. And then I ended up also feeling led, and this has been on my heart for the last 2-3 years, that I really, really wanted to visit Transformation Church, which is where I've considered home for the last 2 to 3 years, where I've been tithing. And so I immediately thought, well, if I'm returning to the US and I'm going to be in Houston, I can easily take a flight to Oklahoma, do my crazy faith offering, and then go to Atlanta. And that, how long I'm staying here right now, is also up in the air, and I'll be talking about that soon. So I ended up staying at this Airbnb in Jinx, which is close to Tulsa. You can see I had a super cute desk area and also a queen size bed, bathroom, kitchen area, full access to laundry, and super, super quiet and peaceful. There were other rooms rented, but everyone, for the most part was really, really quiet. I didn't hear barely